Okay, so we've been talking about electrons and how electrons behave. So I've got a little story to tell you to help you with the next thing we do on electrons. It's called the Aufbau House Story, okay? Now, who's ready for college? Everybody's ready for college, right? All right, so one of the things that people want to do when they go to college is they want to live in the dorm, okay? So we're going to talk about the Aufbau House Story, and it's about this very special dorm, okay? Now, in this story, the dorm is ran by a lady named Mrs. Hund, H-U-N-D, Mrs. Hund. And Mrs. Hund was a chemist. She loved science. She loved chemistry. So she thought, you know, I'm going to run my dorm like electrons behave. Okay, so I'm going to run my dorm according to the behavior of electrons. Okay, because she loves science and she just wanted to base everything that she did on science. All right, so there were very strict ways that she ran her dorm. And in her dorm room, there were bunk beds. And before anybody could be assigned to the top bunk in any bed, there had to be somebody assigned to the bottom bunk. Okay? So in Mrs. Hund's dorm rooms, there were bunk beds. People had to be assigned to the bottom bunks before you could get the top bunk. Okay? That's just how it had to be. All right? And although Mrs. Hund had very strict rules, her dorm was the dorm everybody wanted to move into. Okay? So, there were 4 types of rooms in Miss Hund's dorm. So, on the first floor, she had just one room because she used the rest of the floor for her living space. Okay, so she just had one room on the first floor. Now, let me introduce you to Mrs. Hund. That's Mrs. Hund. Okay, I want you to put a face with the name. There's Mrs. Hund. And like I said, she was a chemist. And her dorm room was the place to be. Okay? So, like I said, she has one room on the first floor. And that type of room is called the sunny side room. All right? So, the sunny side room was everything that you would imagine a dorm room to be. Okay? There's a picture of the sunny side room. It's bright, it's airy, you've got a window, you're overlooking greenery and gardens, and it is the perfect place to study, okay? You can focus. You've only got one roommate, okay? There's a bottom bunk, a top bunk. It's bright. You know, it just makes you feel good to walk into this room, okay? And really, even though everybody wanted to be in the Mrs. Hund's dorm, this is the room they wanted to be in, was the sunny side room. Okay, so on that first floor, there's only one bunk bed in that sunny side room. So we're going to kind of map it out, draw it out a little bit. So on the first floor, we're going to call that room an S room. So we've got one S. So first floor, our numbers represented our floor, sunny side room. Okay? All right, so how many bunks did it have?
2.
Well, it had 2 beds, but how many?
1.
One whole bunk, right? All right, so we're going to draw an arrow to kind of represent the bunk. All right, and what was her one rule about placing people in the rooms?
The bottom had to be filled first.
You had to fill up the bottom first. So on her little diagram where she is diagramming out what she's got filled up for the year, you know, in the summer when the dorms are filling up, once she fills this up, she's going to put a down arrow to represent, I have a person in the bottom bunk. So where's the next person going to go?
The top.
Next person's going to go on the top bunk. And now, once she assigns one to the bottom and one to the top, the sunny side room is full. And now we can go to the next room. Because not only do the bottom bunks have to be filled before the top bunks, but the rooms have to be filled in a certain order as well. Okay? All right, so let's go back to our PowerPoint here. All right, so now because the first floor is her living quarters, we're gonna move on up to the second floor. The next set of people will go to the second floor. And what is the first room on the second floor gonna be, you think? Another sunny side room. Okay, because we're gonna go to the second floor, we're gonna have another sunny side room. All right, so when she goes to this, when she goes to a signing, we're gonna go up one and over one like we're going upstairs with her little diagram, and she's gonna have a sunny side room. Now, how many bunk beds are in that sunny side room? One bed with 2 spots, right? So here's gonna represent our bed. Which bed gets taken first?
The bottom.
The bottom bunk, okay? So the bottom bunk is first. Which bed is next?
The top.
The top. Okay. Now, but if we keep going with this diagram, these arrows might get out of hand, right? So once she fills them up, she's going to put a subscript in, okay? So instead of arrows, once I fill it up, or once Mrs. Hun fills up, she comes in and she puts a little subscript, okay? So, all right. Now, there's another room on the second floor though. Now, with this other room on the second floor, all right, some people, they go to college, they go and they study, they love being in the sunny side room, they're doing what they're supposed to. Then you have others that go, they want this room, okay? So this next room is the party room. Woohoo! We're gonna have a party, okay? So we go, and there's the party room. You can be roommates with 5 of your bestest friends. I know bestest is not a word. I'm just doing that for emphasis there, okay? You and 5 of your best friends can live in the same room, and it is party all the time. You got decorations, you got balloons, you got some diagrams here to throw people off to make them think you're studying, but you're really just living it up, okay? So that's the party room. We're going to represent that with a P. How many bunk beds do you see in the party room?
3.
There are 3 bunk beds in a party room. So we've got 2 types of rooms so far. We've got the sunny side room, and we've got the party room. And the party room has 3 bunk beds. All right, so let's put that on our diagram. And we're still on the second floor. So we're going to go, here's the party room. And it has 3 bunk beds. So I'm going to show that with 3 lines. Now, Mrs. Hun's rule is which bunk has to be filled up first with Mrs. Hun's rule?
The bottom.
The bottom. So the first person she gets is going to go on the bottom bunk right here. The second person she gets is going to go in the second bed, bottom bunk. The third person she gets to put in this dorm room is going to go on the third bed, bottom bunk. Because she knows she's very particular about how her beds are filled up. Now, that all the bottom beds are filled up, now we can start with the top bunks, okay? So the 4th person that she puts in is going to go in the top bunk right here. The 5th person is going to go in the top bunk here. And the 6th person is going to go in the top bunk there. And now you have filled up the party room. How many people can fit in a party room?
6.
6. So once she has filled that up in her diagram, she's going to take away these arrows. Now she knows she has 6 people in the party room. Okay? And that's all she has on the second floor. So now she's going to move up to the 3rd floor. So what do you think is the first room on the 3rd floor?
Party room.
Not the party room, but
Sunny
the
side
sunny side room. The one everybody wants because it's got that nice window. All right, so we're going to go back up to the 3rd floor. We're going to go to the sunny side room. All right, and she's going to do just like she would do with everybody else. You know, she's got that 1 bunk bed in a sunny side room, just 1 bunk. She's got to fill up the bottom first and then the top. okay? So now, she's filled it up. She's gonna put her little subscript in her diagram. Here's another floor, or another room on the 3rd floor. What do you think this room is? The 3rd floor party room, okay? So, she's in the 3rd floor party room, and so we've got 3P, P for party, and we've got 1, 2, 3 bunk beds. And how do we have to fill those bunk beds up?
Bottom and top.
All right, bottom, 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 top, top, top. And how many total people fit in that party room?
6.
6. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull a 6 right here. All right, so we've got up to the 3rd floor. We've got the sunny side room. We've got the party room. But we also have one more room. Now this is a new room that you haven't seen yet. Okay? We've got a 3D room. Well, what does this D stand for? What is this type of room? And let's go back to our pictures. And so we were at the party room, but this next room, dun dun dun, it's the dungeon room. Okay, all the walls are black. It's dark, creepy. The floors kind of creak, and you've got one single light in the middle, like one single light bulb. That's your only source of light. Hence the name, the dungeon room. Okay. Now, how many bunk beds do you see in the dungeon room? 5 bunk beds in the dungeon room. So how many people will the dungeon room hold?
10.
It can hold 10 people. All right, so let's diagram out this dungeon room. All right, so we've got 3D. Let's adjust here just a little bit. Okay, so with my 3D, my dungeon room, I've got 5 bunk beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and it's going to be no different than all the others because Mrs. Hunt is so strict about her bunk bed rule. So which bunks have to be filled first?
Bottom.
The bottom bunks. Okay, so we're going to go bottom, 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 bottom. So that's person 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are assigned to this room. So now when person 6 signs up for this dorm, top, 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 top. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But here's the thing though with this room. Who wants to live in the dungeon room? Would you want to live in the dungeon room if you went to college? Okay, so it's dark, it's creepy. Too many people, right? Too many people, because let's face it, we as humans tend to be lazy sometimes, and we want to do things that take less energy, right? And living with that many people, and you're already in a depressing room, that's going to take a lot of energy, right? To get along with 9 different people in a dark room, okay? That's going to take lots of energy, right? So because of that, Mrs. Hunt understands this. So she says, you know what? Before I fill up this dungeon room, before I fill it up, let's take a step back. And you know what? I'm going to let 2 of those people go ahead and move on into the 4th floor sunny side room. Because you know what? It's going to take less energy for those people to climb 1 flight of stairs than it's going to take for them to live in that dungeon room with 9 other people, right? Okay? It's going to take a whole lot less energy to climb 1 flight of stairs to the 4th floor and get in that nice, peaceful sunny side room than it's going to take to live in that dungeon room with 9 other people. All right? So, in the sunny side room, how many people can go in the sunny side room? 2. Bottom bunk first, then the top bunk. So we'll do those 2. Then we'll go back and we'll fill up that 3rd floor dungeon room, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, even though she can move people to the sunny side room, she's still got to fill her space. So that means somebody's got to stay in that dungeon room. And how many bunk beds did that dungeon room have? 5. So it could hold up to 10 people. So she can put a 10 there because, hey, it can hold a lot of people. We can get a lot of rent that way, right? All right, so now back to the 4th floor because that's all the floors that that's all the rooms that the 3rd floor has. So let's go back to the 4th floor. So we've already filled up the 4th floor sunny side room. What do you think's next? The 4th floor party room. Okay, so we're gonna go 4th floor. Okay, this is gonna be ideal because there's less people. You only got 5 other roommates. You don't have 9. All right, and how many bunk beds are in the party room? 3 bunk beds. So how many people can be in the party room? 6. All right, so I can hold 6 people in the party room. And remember, they're gonna go bottom, 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 and then they're gonna fill up the beds top, top, top. Okay? So after I go to the 4th floor party room, the 4th floor, it also has a dungeon room, but how did Miss Hunt feel about the dungeon room? What would she rather do before she put people there?
Move them up.
We're going to move them up to the next floor sunny side room because it's less energy to go up to that 5th floor sunny side room than it is to deal with all those people in that dungeon room with that one light bulb and those dark walls, okay? So she's going to put them up in the 5th floor sunny side room. Now, how many beds are in the sunny side room? 1 bed that can hold how many people? 2. So we're going to put a little 2 there. But like I said before, you can't just not fill the dungeon room. Okay, she's got to get her rent, pay for her building. So she's going to have to put people in the dungeon room. So after she fills up that 5S sunny side room, she then puts them into the dungeon room. And how many bunk beds did the dungeon room have?
5.
Had 5 beds. So how many people did it hold? 10, because it went bottom, 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 bottom. Was that 5 bottoms? I think that was 5 bottoms. And then top, 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 top. Okay, so it holds 10 people. All right. Now, the 4th floor has your 4th type of room. Okay? It's an F room. Okay, so let's take a look at the F room. So this was our dungeon, okay? It had 10 bunk beds. 5 bunk beds, sorry, 5 bunk beds. Told you I'm not a perfect storyteller, but I think you'll get the point. It has 5 bunk beds, 10 people. We established that living with 9 other roommates would be horrible, right? It would take a lot of energy, okay? You don't have your alone space. You don't even have light, okay? So, the next room, the F room. This is the freak room, okay? Because when you walk out of this room, you are going to look like a freak, okay? The lights never go off. You got all these psychedelic colors. So you have to sleep in all this, okay? You got colors, you got lights flashing, disco balls going, and so you never sleep because you can never get any peace because the lights are always on. And how many beds are in the freak room?
7.
There are 7 beds. That means it's you and 13 other people. Of course you're crazy if you live in this room, right? All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 beds in the freak room. So that's 14 people. These people are going to be nuts, right? They're going to look like freaks when they walk out of this room because they're just going to be like, oh, just like all stressed out and crazy, right? Okay, so let's go back to our diagram. And so do you think really people are going to want to live in the 4F room?
No.
In that freak room? No, they're not, because again, that's going to take a lot of energy, right? All right, that's going to take a lot of energy to live with 13 other people and to not get any rest, okay? No peace, no peace. So that's going to take a lot of energy. So before she makes them move into the 4th floor freak room, she's going to let them move into the 5th floor party room. And how many people can the 5th floor party room hold? 6. All right. So the 5th floor also has a dungeon room. But what did she do before she let them move in the dungeon room?
She moved them up.
She let them go up a floor to the sunny side room. So she let them go up to the 6th floor sunny side room. Because climbing up a floor takes a whole lot less energy than living with all these crazy folks in this room, right? Okay? Just climbing one floor a day, I can do that where I can only have to live with one person versus living with 9 or 13 other people. So she opened up that 6th floor sunny side room, but eventually she's got to fill it up. So after she fills up that sunny side room, she's got to go back to this freak room, okay? Now, how many beds did that room have? 7. It had 7 beds. I'm going to draw that down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. 7 beds. And what is Mrs. Hunn's rule about filling up the bunk beds?
Bottom has to be filled first.
Bottoms filled up first. So person number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we can start adding people to the top bunks, but we can't add them randomly. We're going to start back over here at this one. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14 people in that room, okay? So we're going to put up here a superscript of 14. And in the meantime, she's still got that dungeon room she's got to fill as well. Okay, so with that dungeon room, how many beds does the dungeon room have? 5 beds, so it can hold how many people? 10 people. And now that we're done with the dungeon room, we can finally move on back to the 6th floor. And the 6th floor, the next room is going to be the 6th floor party room. Okay, so we're going to have the 6th floor party room. And how many people can that 6th floor party room hold? 6. All right, so need just a little bit more room here. All right, so now that we have the 6th floor party room filled up, we do have one more room on the 6th floor. What do you think that is? Actually, let me back up. We have one more room on the 5th floor. What room is that room on the 5th floor?
Freak room.
That's the freak room. All right, so we're going to have a 5th floor freak room right here. Now, the 4th and 5th floors are the only floors big enough right now to have the freak room. Okay, but that was her open space she had to fill up. Now, but before she fills up that freak room, what is she going to let people do?
Go up to the other rooms and the sunny side room.
We're going to fill up a sunny side room first, okay? So we're going to go back, we're going to go up to the 7th floor sunny side room. How many people can that room hold?
2.
2, all right? So it can hold 2 people. So now, but I've got to fill up, or Miss Hunt has to fill up this 5th floor, okay? So that's what's going to be next. You have the 5th floor, and how many people can the freak room hold?
14.
14, because it's got 7 bunk beds, so she's got 14 people, okay? Now, the 6th floor does have one more room. What room do you think it is?
Dungeon.
It's the dungeon room. The 6th floor does not have a freak room, but it does have a dungeon room. So So how many people can it hold?
10.
It can hold 10 because it has 5 beds. Now, we have one more room. And that's it. That'll be her whole dorm. So what room do you think goes right here? The 7th floor party room, okay? So we have 7th floor party room. And how many can that hold?
6 people.
It can hold 6 people. Now, so this is how Mrs. Hun fills her rooms. And remember, every bottom bunk has to be filled before every top bunk can be filled. And every type of room has a certain number of bunk beds. She's also got an attic in her dorm. Now, she doesn't use the attic right now. But if the population on campus gets too big, she may have to renovate the attic. What would be the first room in the attic?
Sunny side room.
The sunny side room, and what floor would we call that?
8.
That would be the 8th floor sunny side room if she had to renovate the attic. Okay? So now that we understand how Mrs. Hun's rooms are designed, so if we look, the way that she fills it up is really going vertical here. This is the order that she fills her dorm up. She'll go the first floor sunny side, 2nd floor sunny side, 2nd floor party, 3rd floor sunny side, and you can just follow. She's going up her diagram here as far as how she fills it up. Because remember, she wants people to be in the sunny side rooms before she has to fill up these rooms with so many people in them. We're going to end our story right here for right now. There is a part 2 that we'll get to, but we're going to end our story of Mrs. Hun and her dorm right now, and I'm going to stop the video, and we'll relate this later to electrons and atoms. Okay?